Invite viewers to post their location and local time in the comments, because even in a story that climbs from an airport gate to the Pentagon, it's the shared details that make us feel like we're in the same cabin together. The hum of Reagan National's afternoon crowd wraps around Jasmine Washington like a low-grade storm. She's 30 minutes from boarding, her Navy suit still crisp despite the sprint from a Pentagon meeting that would have drained most people to the bone. 5 years of research had just been distilled into a handshake, and the faint praise of a colonel who probably still thought her success was refreshing. That backhanded compliment had joined a long, dusty shelf in her mind, right between articulate for your background and must be diversity quota season. Terrence, her right hand in a tailored vest, is already working 2 devices at once, mapping a route through D.C. traffic and juggling investor demands. When he breaks the news about Chicago, she pauses mid-stride in the Pentagon hallway tomorrow morning or lose the deal. Historians still argue whether business legends are made in polished boardrooms or in the cramped, coffee-scented aisles of 737s. Jasmine knows this. If Stevens Aerospace beats her to that funding, years of headway could vanish. The airport is a gauntlet of subtle cuts. A check-in agent who greets the man behind her like an old friend, but asks if she's in the right line. The random full-body scan and the pat-down of her hair, gloved fingers probing the neat updo like she's smuggling state secrets in bobby pins. She swallows the sting, focuses on her boarding pass first class. 3A, window and glides toward the gate, heels clicking like punctuation. Near the coffee kiosk, a woman in oversized sunglasses and entitlement like a force field cuts the line, barks an order, and breezes off with a cup that seems too hot for physics. Jasmine doesn't linger on it until that same silhouette appears, already seated in her spot minutes later, scrolling a phone like she owns the row. The exchange starts polite. "I believe you're in my seat," but tilts fast when the woman gestures vaguely toward Coach and says maybe Jasmine is confused. It's an old dance. Act like the interloper is mistaken. Make them justify their right to be there. A flight attendant hovers, doing that tightrope smile service workers perfect, but asks Jasmine for her boarding pass first, as if the seat stealer's claim is the default truth. When the scan pings green for 3A, the woman huffs and shifts to 3C, muttering about race cards and motion sickness. Jasmine sits, places her briefcase carefully, and ignores the eyes tracking her sympathetic from some, skeptical from others. Somewhere between the quiet thrum of boarding and the captain's welcome, she notices her classified folder feels thinner, a page or 2 lighter, and the woman in 3C. She's texting fast, shoulders tense, like the real turbulence has nothing to do with weather. As the plane taxis toward the runway, Jasmine's mind sharpens, every detail clicking into place like the gears of her patented propulsion system. The stolen pages aren't just a careless lost-theory, a calculated hit. Specific schematics that make Skyline's technology leap ahead, gone missing without a trace. Her assistant Terrence's warning about a security breach back at headquarters buzzes in her mind like a cold alarm. Someone's been inside their systems for months, and now the physical theft has become painfully clear. Karen Mitchell, a woman with the designer handbag and the fake entitlement, wasn't just an angry passenger. She's a corporate spy, planted by Stevens Aerospace to sabotage Skyline innovations. The airline seating dispute? A smokescreen, a distraction to gain access to Jasmine's briefcase and assess what was inside. How had they known Jasmine would be on this flight? The advanced meeting schedule changes. The subtle gate agent collusion, it all screams conspiracy. The subtle tremor in Karen's hand as she typed frantic messages, her repeated emergency trips to the restroom against federal regulations, and the quick glance Brian, the flight attendant, shared with a man a few rows behind all paint a picture that would make any thriller writer jealous. As the captain announces a delay, claiming a technical issue, Jasmine realizes the malfunction is a cover for authorities scrambling to intercept the plot. With quiet resolve, she taps into the in-flight Wi-Fi and sends encrypted messages to her security team. There's an air marshal on board activated, alert, watching. FBI agents prepare for a storm Jasmine had only just started to see clearly. Meanwhile, Karen's composure crumbles, panic flashing behind her practiced smile, the very image of a woman caught in the headlights of her own deception. Historians still debate the extent to which racial prejudice and corporate espionage intertwine in American business history, but Jasmine's experience underscores a brutal reality. Her identity was weaponized against her, assumed to be a weakness. Yet it was that very underestimation that unraveled the entire operation. A chorus of passengers begins to murmur, frustration morphing into sympathy as witness after witness steps forward. The young engineer she met earlier, Andre Wilson, breaks the silence with a courageous truth, pointing out the real thief to the crowd. When FBI agents escort Karen Mercer a real identity, now exposed off the plane, the weight of justice settles. Jasmine's fight isn't just about a seat anymore. It's a battle against a system that sought to silence her through covert sabotage masked as racism. As passengers grumble about the inconvenience, Jasmine's mind races toward the coming legal battles and corporate reckonings. But for the moment, the curtain has been pulled back. The days after Flight 2187 don't just unfold, they explode. While Jasmine is ushered from airport lounge to FBI command center, her phone blinks with a tidal wave of alerts. Headlines, investor emails, news of Stevens Aerospace executives in handcuffs. The federal case grows by the hour, unearthing 2 years of orchestrated sabotage, a digital and human shadow campaign that tried to grind Skyline Innovations out of existence. Each fresh detail feels surreal. Surveillance photos, memos riddled with clinical racism, a rival boardroom that believed diversity hires meant technical weakness and planned accordingly. At the Fairmont penthouse, federal agents lay out the evidence like forensic curators. Jasmine, exhausted but unshaken, absorbs it all. The Justice Department's top civil rights team moves in. Her company's value surges as the truth comes out. The quirky twist? A message from Brian, the flight attendant, requesting permission to speak publicly about his initial bias and the lesson he learned on Seat 3. Ahi's apology goes viral, sparking a wider conversation about unconscious prejudice in the airline industry. Historians still argue whether the Stevens scandal marks a true inflection point in American business, but it's clear something shifts. Within months, Jasmine signs the largest Department of Defense contract ever awarded to a black woman-owned firm, a $1.2 billion statement written in ink and policy. Congress holds hearings, the press conference lights up cable news, and the story isn't just about corporate theft anymore. It's about a system that tried to erase her and the reckoning that followed. Even as the storm of legal reform and public scrutiny swirls, Jasmine makes space for her daughter's science fair project Balance. Always. At industry galas and late-night meetings, she becomes a reluctant symbol, not because she wanted the fight, but because she survived it. And when she addresses a packed auditorium on ethical business, her voice is steady, never strident. Real progress isn't measured by headlines, but by the systems we build to outlast us. As evening falls, Jasmine boards a flight home. No drama, this time just respect from every corner of the cabin, a handwritten welcome from the captain, and a sense of hard-won belonging. There's still turbulence ahead, but now, every flight is a little smoother for those who come after. The day drifts to dusk, lights winking on across the skyline, the city below humming with possibility. Jasmine leans back against the cool leather seat of the jet, letting her breath settle as the world outside softens into velvet blue. In the hush of altitude, every surface seems gentler, every shadow stretched and slow. The memory of the confrontation lingers, but so does the swell of pride quiet. Not boast feel a truth that refuses to be erased. Through the window, clouds slide by in endless procession, and somewhere far below, another late flight crosses the continent, someone else wondering if their seat, their work, their voice will be honored or denied. Jasmine knows now that battles fought in silence behind closed doors, between scanned folders, and subtle slights can ripple out, shift laws, lift unseen barriers. There's comfort in that, a kind of hush that settles on the heart after a storm has blown itself out. As the city lights blink in welcome, Jasmine's phone buzzes with a simple message from her daughter. "Proud of you, Mom. Can't wait for you to help with my project." She smiles, the fatigue of weeks falling away, replaced by the steady warmth of purpose. Tomorrow's to-do list is already long meetings, interviews, the small and large work of building something lasting. But tonight, there's only the hush of the cabin, the rhythm of breath, and the knowledge that sometimes justice glides in quietly on the wings of persistence. The world turns, the story fades, and for a while, peace returns, so whispered promise, soft as velvet, that belonging, once claimed, will not be surrendered.